So the Pixel tablet is an Android-powered tablet that also doubles as a smart display when you attach it to the charging speaker dock, which, by the way, comes included in the box. Hi everyone, Thao here. I think it's really smart that Google's taking a different approach to get this into people's hands. If they just straight up marketed this as a $500 Android tablet, its chances as successful would probably be pretty low. The reality is, if someone wants a tablet, it's hard not to recommend an iPad, right? But what about the crowd that's on the fence about a tablet that could benefit from a smart multimedia display and speaker combo? Well, this tablet suddenly makes a lot more sense than the $450 entry-level iPad. The white bezels on this porcelain model will be a little controversial, as black bezels are kind of the default these days. I personally like it and think it can look really good in the right home setting. The backside has a nano coating on top of the aluminum build that feels nice and just gives off a very Google aesthetic. This finish also pretty much eliminates any fingerprints, which is awesome. There's a fingerprint scanner embedded into the power button, which works 100% of the time. That's your only biometric option for unlocking the tablet. No face unlock here. On paper, the display specs are very average. This has a 2560 by 1600 LCD display. I know some of you will be disappointed that it isn't OLED, but remember, this doubles as a smart display too. Having an OLED display on all the time will lead to a burn-in nightmare. A 16 by 10 aspect ratio also makes sense since Google views this as mainly a multimedia device. The only spec that feels slightly disappointing for me is the 60 Hz refresh rate. I mean, I wish they went with 90 instead, since 60 feels a little dated in 2023, especially for a touchscreen tablet. What's interesting is that Google didn't really market this as a note-taking or drawing tablet, but the spec sheet does say that it supports USI 2.0 stylus pens. I picked up this one from Penovo, and yep, you can totally interact with the tablet, take notes, and sketch with it. It's nowhere near as responsive as the Apple Pencil or S Pen, but it honestly does the trick. This specific pen even comes with magnets that attaches to the back of the tablet, so you have a place to store it. I mean, look how perfectly that lines up. Seriously makes me think that Google might launch their own stylus. Oh, it even attaches to the top like this too. Pretty good. Although Google didn't launch this with a keyboard attachment either, the good news is that Android works perfectly fine with Bluetooth keyboards. It's easy enough to pair one up, and it just makes word processing, answering emails, or messaging a much better experience. The Pixel tablet comes with 8 gigs of RAM paired with either 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. It's powered by the Tensor G2 chip, which is the same processor we've seen in all the current Pixel phones, including the flagship Pixel 7 Pro. So you can expect similar performance. It's benchmarking a little lower than what I've seen on those other devices. My unit is running pre-release software, so that might explain it. Either way, it's been a very smooth experience. No stutters, no lag at all. It's more than capable for casual gaming too, but don't expect it to run more demanding games like Genshin Impact on anything higher than low to medium graphics settings. The software experience will feel very familiar if you own a Pixel phone. The home screen features the typical at-a-glance widget in the top left with a Google search bar embedded into the dock, which can also fit 6 of your favorite apps. You can run 2 apps side by side and resize them to your liking, but that's essentially it when it comes to multitasking. No desktop mode like Samsung DeX or Apple Stage Manager here. Google's keeping it nice and simple. The tablet supports multiple users, which I think is essential for a home hub that is likely to be shared by everyone in the family. So each profile has their own separate apps and content. You can have up to 8, including the ability to set up a child account, which lets you block certain apps and limit screen time. It comes preloaded with all the popular Google apps, which they've optimized to fit the larger screen. Android on tablets is definitely still a work in progress, but it's nice to see that the list of optimized apps is growing and should only get better. If you're wondering what an unoptimized app looks like, well, here you go. Double tapping either side will slide that app to that side, which I assume is to make it easier to scroll when you're holding the tablet in landscape. If this really bugs you, you could technically rotate the tablet and use it like a really big phone, I guess. Another knock on Android tablets has always been the lack of pro-level apps, and this tablet doesn't change that. The thing is, Google isn't marketing this towards creatives or pros. It's not trying to be a laptop replacement or anything like that. It's really made for casual tablet use around the house. Of course, the unique selling feature for this tablet is the charging speaker dock. While the magnets are pretty strong, there were times when I found myself knocking the tablet off the dock while trying to adjust the volume. If you opt for the kickstand case, which is awesome by the way, it's even easier to push it off. Don't worry though, it's not really an issue. The magnet system is great, but still good to be cautious if you have kids who tend to be a little more heavy-handed around things. Now, because the tablet charges 24/7 when docked, a lot of us were worried about battery health over time. To combat this, Google limits the maximum charge on the tablet to 90%. You can bypass this in the battery settings, but note that it turns back on every single time you redock the tablet. Charging via a USB-C cable will get you the full 100, but remember, this doesn't come with any other charger besides the one for the dock. In terms of battery, I haven't been able to reach the 12 hours of battery life that Google claims you'll get when streaming video. Watching a 4K YouTube video at around 70% brightness drained the battery by 14%, which translates to just over 7 hours. Keeping the brightness down will definitely help you get more out of the battery. With mixed usage, I think 7 to 8 hours is what you can expect out of it, but because of how easy it is to dock and charge the tablet, I haven't been as concerned with the battery life. Audio handoff between the dock and tablet is awesome. There's something so satisfying about listening or watching content on the tablet than popping down to the dock and immediately getting that improved audio experience. It's a very smooth transition too. Audio coming from the dock is not only louder, it just flat out sounds better than the quad speakers on the tablet itself, thanks to the added bass. It also does a really good job filling a mid-sized room. It's not pumping out sound in all directions like the design might make you think. All the sound comes out through the front, so you get the best audio experience standing in front of it. While docked, the moment you lock the tablet, it enters hub mode. Pressing the power button a second time will turn the display completely off. I was actually in the market for a digital photo frame, and this sort of fills that role perfectly. Having so many memories sort of stuck on my phone, it's nice being able to randomly see and relive memories throughout the day. It adds a nice human element that often gets lost when it comes to tech. You can of course control all your smart devices by tapping this Google Home icon right here. Setup was really simple. All I did was sign into my Google account and all my smart home stuff just showed up immediately. You can also use your voice to control connected devices, ask questions, set timers, and all that jazz thanks to Google Assistant. Voice pickup was surprisingly good. It's able to hear me perfectly fine from another room. If that creeps you out, Google does give you the option to block microphone and camera access when you don't need them. The Pixel tablet is also the first tablet to have Chromecast built into it. If you've never used Chromecast before, it basically lets you cast content from your phone directly to the tablet. Let's say I'm watching a YouTube video on my phone. Just look for the cast icon, choose Pixel tablet, and bam, it'll start playing right on the tablet. You can apparently buy extra docks to place around the house, but because it doesn't offer any functionality at all without the tablet attached to it, it doesn't really feel worth it to me. There's obvious things that they could have added to the dock to make it more useful on its own, like making it a standalone Bluetooth speaker with Google Assistant, for example. I also wish it offered some sort of tilt functionality because this one angle might not be ideal depending on where you place it. Seriously though, the dock is such a cool idea, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Apple or Samsung do something similar. Look, like most first-gen products, there's room for improvement, but I gotta give Google credit. They found a neat way to make a tablet that offers way more functionality in our homes. Having it double as a versatile smart home hub, plus digital picture frame, plus dedicated multimedia device for the entire family, and including the dock that makes it all possible right in the box, definitely makes this more appealing versus if it were just a straight-up Android tablet. Android on tablets is far from perfect, but if you don't care for pro-level apps and just want a multimedia device with simple software that everyone in the family can use, this sort of nails that. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'm out of here. Bye!